Hey everybody, it's me, Dr. Matt Hombauer. I want to give you some background about myself in this episode, but I got rather bored by recording a monologue rambling about my life. Luckily, I recently had the pleasure to be a guest on the Beyond One Lens podcast from my dear friend and colleague Zarrina Alieva. We talked about my being, my visions, how I help high achievers live a fulfilled life, and what AIKIDO has taught me so far. So I thought it would be a good idea to share this interview with you today. In the second part of this episode, at around 27 minutes in, I am working with Saadi. The topic she's facing is how to deal with an uncertain future, an issue many of my clients are struggling with. We both had a blast in this session, and you will experience what's possible when Saadi connects to her inner strength to better deal with this obstacle in her life. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Season 2 Beyond One Lens podcast, and I'm your host, Zarrina Alieva. In this podcast, you will meet extraordinary coaches, experience power of the coaching conversation, and discover how powerful and resourceful you are. Enjoy the journey. Our guest today is Dr. Matt Hombauer. How do you start everything from scratch and become successful in everything you do, of course in your own terms, with a great sense of joy? Matthias is helping change makers who are dare to lead within. Hi, Matthias.
Hi, Zarrina.
So lovely to have you here today. And interesting enough, I've known you for a while, and we've done a coaching course together. And we become such a close friends, although I have never met you in person. It's an honor to have you here with us today. And what I would like us to explore the new side of you today.
Yes,
the one
please.
The one I'm not aware, and you can offer to our listeners. Would you mind sharing your story, starting maybe with presentation, who you are?
Starting where I am and going back, or should I go the different way?
Whatever suits you.
Yes. So first of all, thank you so much, Zarrina, for having me here in your podcast. It's a pleasure and honor, and it's, as we said before, like a continuation of our almost daily WhatsApp messaging. So yeah, this relationship really means a lot to me, and so thanks so much. Being really grateful for being here. Yeah, my story. Let's start from being a researcher back then in 2008, doing my PhD thesis in molecular biology, wanting to win the Nobel Prize one day, but everything turned out differently. So I kind of felt it in the body already that something is off. And what it was actually was that my body was telling me that's not really the thing that you love to do or you would like to continue to do. So I fought with myself, I have to say, like 2 years until I finished the PhD thesis. And on the day when I had my PhD document in my hands, I decided to become a rock star photographer. So basically, I wanted to live my passion and take photos of my idols in the music business, most likely rock bands. So I started in small clubs, and then all of a sudden I was on stage with guys like The Prodigy and ED Pop and whatnot. And so I thought, yeah, that might be a cool profession for me. I really enjoyed it. Was traveling with bands. I was shooting for Instagram in France. I was flying to Saudi Arabia to shoot the biggest music festivals. And then my daughter was born. Now I have 2 kids. Mia is 6 and Noah is getting 4 in January. And back then, when we got Mia, I was reflecting on my life and was thinking, is this really the thing, like being a concert photographer, traveling all the time, or being at least out at night in fucked up clubs really the thing that I want to do. And so I decided, let's do something different. And what I just recognized a couple of days ago is like, we are always having these huge milestones in our life that we are like proud of and celebrating. But there are a lot of smaller steps in there which might not be so celebrated, or we just forget about it. And one of these steps, or these little milestones, was that a friend of mine gave me an audiobook from Tim Ferriss called The 4-Hour Workweek. And I don't know if the listeners are familiar with this and Tim Ferriss. So in short, The 4-Hour Workweek is more like a book about how to do work that you love independently from time and money. So, not getting paid for your time, but doing it differently. And so one idea was building an online business. And so what I did, I started without any knowledge of WordPress or selling courses online. I started a webpage called How to Become a Rockstar Photographer. .com, really long URL, but I thought this is what it is back then. And yeah, it turned out people were interested in learning how to become a concert photographer. And I just shared my path. I was writing blog articles. I was starting with a little ebook, and then I continued to sell an online course. And I did a podcast as well, like 100 episodes, interviewing the most famous music photographers. And then like COVID hit, March 2020, pandemic, lockdown here in Austria, and everything closed down. The music business was dead for the next 2 years. And I was being a concert photographer for 10 years. I had this online business for 8 years. And I was kind of feeling not really stuck, but I couldn't really move forward. And so what I saw as an opportunity when COVID came was like, maybe that's a gentle kick in my butt saying, Matthias, it's time to move on. And so I appreciated this gift, I would say, that came to me, closed down the concert photography business completely and started a new endeavor and journey where I met you, naming like the Coactive Journey. And this is where I am right now, helping people and helping change makers to make an impact in their lives and lives of others.
Because I'm fascinated about the change makers you just mentioned. Elaborate a bit more. What's a change maker for you?
Yeah, for me, a change maker is someone who has already a vision, who knows where the path is leading. I've worked with a lot of people and coached a lot of people who are like, I don't really know where I should go. Life sucks, but I have no plan and no idea. And there is place and space for coaches to be there, or for clients, and have coaches who help them. But I found out what really energizes me and gives me the energy boost and kick is like when I can work with someone who has already a vision, who is on the way, and then helping them to overcome the obstacles that are always there. And, there are similar themes if you're a high achiever, if you're having your own business, if you're a CEO of a startup. And how I'm seeing it as well as you are seeing it as like multipliers. So you will have even a more impact in the world if you can help someone who is having this leverage. And so, I'm started with this. I also have clients I love working with who have or in a situation where they want to change. And this is also a change maker for me, maybe just in the little world for them personally. But really, really love working with those guys.
Thank you. While you were telling your story, there are some of your values were so obvious for me, like adventurous, that eager to change. So the constant move. What else part of your values?
Yeah, definitely family. So this is one that came up once I got kids, I guess. Family was always important for me, but now it totally have a different priority, namely number one. And so what I'm also trying with my coaching business, I'm right now, I have two little kids. Mia is in school, elementary school, first class. Noah is in kindergarten. So what I'm trying to do is working from, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then being there for the kids. And this really feels great. And sure, I might limit myself, but I don't see it as a limitation. I see it more as a balanced way of working on the things I love, coaching and helping people, but also be there for my family.
What I hear, you're honoring your values. You created that loop that helps you to show up every day, to be that change maker you want to be for the others.
Exactly. And it really helps. And Coactive Journey really helped me to see, being aware, what are my true values and my inner values. I kind of lived them before, but I wasn't aware what these values were. And so having almost like a framework, or just writing it down and being aware what are those, helps me a lot by directing how I'm going forward with my business. And I just had a talk today with someone from a big NGO company and discussing working with them. And he said, take care, because with the NGOs, you give them the finger and they take the hand. And I said, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm self-aware of this, and I can offer you this and that, but everything is in line with my values of family. So I don't overstep about this.
What are the other values of yours that you would like to share?
Yeah, definitely creativity and innovation. There is something about building things from scratch. At least this is something that I got aware of. And if I going back, I started when I was 7 years old with athletic, sprint and long jump, and I was really into it for 4 years, I guess. And then I got my first guitar, and I started a band from scratch. And then, I became this molecular biologist, and then started photography from scratch and started coaching from scratch and online business. So it seems there is something about creativity and innovating. And what I also have experienced, once I dial, it's almost like dialing this volume of creativity down. I'm not as balanced and grounded anymore. And one example would be, there were times when my wife, Lynn, who is a medical doctor, was prioritizing work. And I said, I am the stay-at-home dad, and I do the housework. And, I do all this stuff that needs to be done. And after a couple of time, it's like a month or so, it really felt I'm almost like a tiger in a cage. I want to do things, but I can't because there's no time. And it's like, and then we found a way that I'm still able to be creative in whatever this means, being it now building a coaching business, being it starting Aikido classes, and again, learn from scratch some totally new stuff that I've never done before.
Interesting. Why Aikido?
Good question. It's a mixture of getting myself out of the comfort zone, because I was never into martial arts. It was always more like sports that I'm responsible for, because I'm the only one who is responsible in a solo show. I was never a team player. And there you have these fightings, you have contact with other people, which is also something I'm more introvert and liking it to be at home in front of the computer. So this is one way, but the other way, and the more important way, is because I truly believe it will help me connect to my spirituality and my being. And first time I found out was through Wendy Palmer, who is someone living in San Francisco, and she developed leadership embodiment. It's a course, and it's all about like how you can use your body to release stress. And this course is based on techniques in Aikido. And so I got interested in Aikido. At least the name sounded interesting. And so I just Googled Aikido dojo. They call it dojo, like it's the practice place where you go. And then I found out, wow, next to my home, the next street is like a dojo from a guy who is doing this for 40 years. Let's go there. And so, yeah, slowly and steady, I'm getting into it. It's quite different than everything else I've done before. You know, you have this Japanese etiquette, what you have to do. There's not much talking, there is more showing. And this is, again, something interesting, like where I see the link to coaching as well, because it's all about being. It's not do this, and that, and then it's working, or learn a technique. Be there, observe. You're observing the master showing a movement with someone, and then he says, let's try it. And then you're in pairs and you try it. And the interesting thing is that even though I'm a beginner, you will be with the guys who are doing it for 30 years, for example. And everyone is doing the same things. And most striking, it's the only sport where there is no competition. There are no competitions in Aikido. So it's not about showing up and competing and being the best. It's more like, as far as I get it, everyone has like get something out of it. Being it, okay, you'll be more physical, it's a sport, or more mental. And I can tell you after 2 hours, I'm really brain dead. It's so demanding on my brain and on my mind. So I truly believe it's more like an inner reflection, inner work that you're doing with this Aikido. And so really different what I've ever done before, but yeah, interesting in a way. So let's see.
I can see it. I can almost feel it. There is one somehow metaphor, or the phrase popping up for me is the beginner's mind.
Yeah,
so you're
definitely.
Independently, if you've done it once or 30 years, you're coming there every day with beginner mind.
Yes, and that's really something special, I would say.
I'm curious, just joining Aikido and trying so many different other things, what did you learn about yourself?
Yeah, that there is I wouldn't say there is a need to evolve, but there is almost I would say a pull towards evolving or becoming more aware, or like a better human being, whatever this would mean. But just if I look back where I was 2 years ago before I started the co-active journey, yeah, it was pretty cool, I would say, in a way. But I wasn't aware of so many things, and now everything becomes more clearer. I'm always saying before, like a metaphor would be, I had if you would cut off my head or open, I would be just analytical, and everything else, emotions, spirit, heart, I didn't really feel or didn't know how to connect. And everything was like black and white. There is a yes or no answer to it. And now, during this transformation journey and coactive, it's more like seeing everything in rainbow colors and really being connected with my being. And this feels so much more complete or whole, I would say. And this is also what I'm seeing with a lot of my clients, especially if they have these job positions where they are like up the ladder, the career ladder. It seems, they are busy all the time and doing, but there is not a lot of being, or just, giving themselves a break. And I just talked to someone today from this non-profit organization, really high up the ladder. And they said, do you pat yourself on your shoulders for what you have achieved? And he said, oh yeah, I should do this more often. So they are just doing, and they're not really aware of what's going on in the world, I guess. They're just functioning in a way, or running. And so that's really important for me also, to give my client like this other perspective. And coming back, why I'm doing all these things like meditation and Aikido and all this stuff, it's like that I can grow myself, and then I can pass this on. Even though it might sound abstract in a way, it's not something that you can touch. But I truly believe, and there is this saying, as we know, you only can take a client as deep as you went. And I really love this quote. So when I'm not there, I can't take my client there. And so it's like I would say I'm a work in progress all the time. But now with a different aim. Before it was like, I need to do it because I need to be the best, or I need to fast perform or whatever. Now it's like, let's do it and see what comes up, and try to try to have a focus on the journey, not the end goal.
Which is one thing that caught my attention behind you. There are two things. There is a sign, there are certain words. Yes. What the words are saying? Would you mind sharing?
Be your authentic self. And a heart.
And what is it about?
Yeah, because what I found out is being your true authentic self is the best way you can live your life. And by meaning this, at least how I understood it in the co-active context, is that you're aware of your values, what you're really standing for, your life purpose, your mission on earth, why you're here. And once you grab this or be aware of it, and you can set your action, your outer action, and kind of sync it with your inner being, then a totally different world will show up. And it's so often that people are not aware of what I'm standing, but I have this job and something is not right. Something feels wrong. And so it seems it's always, if you're not aligned with your true authentic self and you're doing other stuff in the outside world, your body will recognize it or will let you know. And I think too often people just are not aware of it and just go along because it's just a feeling or whatever, or they're not connected and doing it anyhow. And so having this made a huge shift for me once I knew, okay, family is number one, and I will act like family is number one. And this means, from not taking on jobs that are not compatible with this, to doing other stuff that's not working. And so therefore also the concert photography, which was great, by the way, and I'm glad I did it. It's not fitting my needs for this value anymore. And so
I think what is important point is you are bringing as well evolution. We change, circumstances change, we grow. Exactly. And then, as you said, the values will grow, change with us as well. The priorities will change along the journey.
Exactly.
Listening to what is number one today, I think this is an act upon in line with that one.
Exactly. And this can change, family is always like a core value, but once the kids are older, things will change, right? I have more options. And so therefore it's always good to be aware of where I am right now. What is the situation? What serves me? How can I react?
There are two more things behind you. Would you mind sharing with the listeners what they are?
Two, I see one, the bonsai.
And I see trampoline as well.
And the trampoline, yeah. The bonsai. I bought this bonsai like a year ago, because what resonated with me is like this observer ally in coactive. And so for people who are not aware of it or never heard of it, we have this sub-personalities in us. And one of them, you can call it like the observer. And what the observer does is like, you see the world as it is. So without attachment, without any emotions. And one way to explain this is like, you sent me the podcast from Steve Chandler, right? Where he explains it a little bit, where he says, it's maybe like the situation is like there is a house burning down. And if you're the owner of the house, it might be the worst day of your life because you lost everything. But on the other hand, if you see a firefighter for his first job, he will be enlightened and say, wow, I can help someone. And it's awesome to do this, right? And so the reality is there is a house burning down. It's just the perception from each person, the owner and the firefighter, how you see it. And the bonsai reminds me of being there for like, I think 23 years now when I got it, and just observing. And this helps me in a way when I'm coaching and, I'm recognizing this bonsai behind me. It's like, okay, just observe and don't judge anything. Don't make something out of it. Don't make anything up, any assumptions that the client might have, just be there and observe. And so the bonsai is kind of a little reminder of the observer for me.
I love the way you put it. It's a wonderful reminder of your ally. Yeah. Just saying it's make you the just visual part of it. I think it's important, quite important. And what about the trampoline then?
Yeah, the trampoline. I got this trampoline like when COVID started because I thought I need to do some sports at home. And yeah, actually really enjoying it. And so there might be another value of fun because I don't love running, but with this trampoline, it's like, it's a bellycon. If someone is interested, it's a little bit different than the other ones because it has these bungee ropes. So it's more fun to jump on it. And yeah, I just jumped before like 7 minutes. I turn on one of my favorite music from deadmau5, jumping for 7 minutes, have a smile and feeling good about it. And there is also the nerdy part of it because I've read that I think the NASA tested it in the 70s. So 10 minutes jumping on a trampoline might have the same cardiovascular effect than 30 minutes of running.
Wow.
And since I don't have so much time, I'm enjoying jumping on this trampoline.
I love the way you serve yourself, actually. Yeah. Honoring another value of yours.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is all trial and error. I have a lot of tools. So I bought a lot of tools that are just, being in the drawer, and I've never opened the drawer again. But the trampoline is quite cool to play with.
Good. But yes, is anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Anything else? There's so much more to share, but so less time here. So no, really enjoyed it. And yeah, if someone needs more info, wants to talk to me, have any questions, please feel free to reach out on LinkedIn or whatever. I'm really enjoying connecting with people.
And of course, would you mind if we share all the links
Sure.
on the show notes for this episode?
Also the bonsai link to the Viennese garden shop.
Of course. Of course.
Awesome.
Thanks for bringing it fun. We are our coachee just knocking in the door.
Yeah.
And I will just let our coachee in. And we're transitioning to the coaching part of the podcast.
So first of all, thanks so much, Saadi, for making time for this.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's been a while since we spoke last time.
Yeah,
and I had a really good session with you some time back. So yeah.
Thank you. It's great to reconnect. So before we start, do you need anything to feel comfortable for the next 50 minutes? Or do you have any questions?
No, I'm just curious. I'm here, ready to experience your magic.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah. So what would be a topic you want to be coached for the next 50 minutes?
Yeah. I have a topic and I can't go into that many details because it will be public, but in essence, it's really about I'll soon be leaving my job without having something else waiting for me. And being in that uncertain moment or uncertain space where you don't have a plan B or plan C or a plan D. This is the first time I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm really, scared. I don't know if that's the word, but I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm doing something very different this time. I'm
right.
usually a control freak that has everything planned, uh, but not this time.
Yeah, and I
But
want to
yeah,
acknowledge you right away for making such a bold move. And what I'm hearing, there is this uncertainty, maybe this fear, but also excitement to try
yeah,
something new.
it's like there's like a huge question mark.
Yeah,
That's the
right,
only thing I see.
right. Huge
Um,
question mark.
yeah.
Yeah. So what's important for you about this question mark?
Oh, I'm wondering what's behind that question mark. Like what's on the other side of the question
Yeah,
mark.
right,
Um, will I be okay?
right. Yeah.
Will I make it? And yeah, I think
Or
that's what
or
it
do I
is.
live on the streets then if it's not working out?
Yes. Yeah. Those kinds
In
of
the worst
things.
case, hopefully not. But yeah, so what would be a good outcome for this session for you that you can take away?
I think one outcome that could be really good is I don't know if I'm expecting too much, so apologies
Just
for
go
that.
about it.
But just getting this sense of calm that
Mm,
it's okay to have question marks in your life and it's
yeah,
okay to not have everything figured out.
yeah, right. So what I'm hearing is getting more calmness
Yeah,
and more clarity, maybe
yeah,
about.
for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's go there. So how does this question mark feel for you? So do you feel it in your body somewhere, like
Yeah,
this
I feel it
uncertainty?
like over here in my
Yeah.
torso and it's big,
Yeah.
fat and round and it's just
Yeah.
and it's looking at me like a neon sign.
Yeah, almost screaming at you.
Yes.
Saadi, hey, what should we do here? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what's the feeling? What's in your body? You see this question mark. How does it
Bit
feel?
of nervousness, kind of, and also butterflies in my tummy.
Yeah.
It's like it's so weird. On one hand, I'm totally nervous.
Mm.
And on the other hand, it feels like, oh, I'm going out on a date very soon and I'm so excited. Like,
Yeah, there's
ooh,
this excitement and also trust comes up for me, like trusting the process that it
yeah.
will be good in the end. So tell me more about the excitement. What are you excited about?
The excitement is mostly about, okay, I am a creative person and I've been talking about my creativity for such a long time. And also with you,
Yeah.
Matthias,
Yeah.
during our first call together. Let me, explore that area again. And also I'm getting this sense of calm in terms of, okay, I will not be stressed out because of, you know, having a very demanding job. I
Mm.
have some mental capacity that's free
Yeah.
to just do stuff with
Yeah. And let's imagine you're in you like movies or books? What do you prefer
movies.
more? Movies. Let's
I'm a visual
pretend,
person.
yeah, you're in this movie and you see the scene of, Saadi standing here with this huge question mark. There is excitement and also a little bit nervousness and uncertainty. How would you name this scene in the film?
This particular scene.
Yeah, like where you are right now with all those feelings. What would be a title
Mm,
for this movie?
mm. I was gonna say the ending.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
ending in terms of, okay, there's been all of these things leading up to this particular moment.
yeah,
Um, and ending of anxiety, ending of not feeling you're doing something meaningful.
yeah. almost I'm feeling like ending of the old Saadi and
Yeah.
restarting something new.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really is exciting but scary as well, because I can literally feel the goosebumps right
Yeah,
now.
me too. Like
Uh,
taking this step and
yeah.
yeah,
And who is it that I want to become?
yeah,
Because I thought I had the answer to that particular question.
right. And who do you want to become, Saadi?
It's that's a good question. I have this alter ego
Mm,
sometimes that I play with in my head just for fun.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So yeah, tell me more about this alter ego.
yeah, it's, person who's out there performing, creating
Yeah,
art,
yeah, and
writing poetry, painting,
yeah,
just this
yeah.
huge, supernova of creativity.
Right. And may I ask you to stand up? Is this possible for you?
Yep. And
And how do you call this alter ego?
her name?
Yes,
Okay, I never told this to anyone before, but her name is Sultana.
Sultana.
Yeah, kind of like a sultan, but the
Ah, yeah,
female
Sultana.
version.
Yeah, so what's the body posture of Sultana? How is she standing? Yeah,
Always like this.
yeah. Yeah, like who are you to tell me what to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's keep this going, this movement, you know? Can you join in again? Like, yeah. So how does it feel to be Sultana?
Intimidating,
Yeah,
but also cool at the same time
yeah,
because in a way I feel that she has more confidence, or the confidence that I wish I had.
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
just being you in your full glory.
yeah. And let's try this out. Maybe I can talk to Sultana. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's try this out.
maybe.
Say, hey Sultana,
Mhm.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are
Yeah,
you, Matthias?
I'm good. You're looking really cool and confident here. I've
Thank
I've
you.
I've heard from Saadi that you're like this creative explosion.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yes, that I am.
yeah. So what's important for you to be creative and innovative?
Telling a story, and not just my story, but the story of the people around me, the story of the grocery man, the story of the bus driver, the
Yeah,
story of the nurse who's
yeah. And
working,
and and why is this important to tell stories from others?
because I think it's because it's like you don't know me.
Mm.
And I think a lot of people have that sense that you don't know me. You don't know what's in me. You think you know me, but you don't
Yeah,
know me. You
yeah,
think you see me, but you don't see me.
yeah. And how does creativity plays a role in this for you?
In a sense of creating awareness,
Mm.
this
Creating awareness.
awareness of the those people who are not being seen
Yeah.
and who are not being known.
Like what comes up for me, almost shining a spotlight on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
zooming in
And
on
there
their
is,
faces.
yeah, and there is also like a value of connection here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
and giving back.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because where I am today, I've been through a lot to get here, and
yeah,
I'm sure that I'm not the only one
right,
out there.
right. Yeah. And that's so beautiful to have this mission of making them seen and help them maybe because they also got in the same situation
Yeah.
before. So
And
yeah, so
in a way, make myself seen, or
make yourself seen. So Sultana, what would you advise? What's your one advice for Saadi in terms of, she's seeing this big question mark? What should she do?
just go on and continue with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Because there's life after the question mark.
Right. There's life after the question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is the question mark is not the end.
No.
And as you said, there's excitement. So it might be a beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much, Sultana. Going back to Saadi. Awesome. So what are you learning from this?
I think I'm learning that there is a life after all. Even if things aren't planned, events aren't planned, there's still a life, and there's still a continuum.
Yeah. And to bring this session to a close with an action step, what would be a small action step that you can take today or tomorrow that bring you closer to this new beginning?
I think I would step into the head of Sultana and really write out who she is, what she is.
Yeah.
This alter ego. I'm not saying that, it's not like I have a split personality or something,
yeah, no,
but it's just figuring out what's in there and get it out somewhere, because right now it's just in my head.
Right.
There's nothing in writing from her.
Yeah. So will you do this by tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you, so writing out like Sultana, describing her values, how she's being, what she's doing, and then taking a step from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beginning for sure.
Right. And do you need any accountability for this?
I always need accountability.
Yeah. So what about letting me know tomorrow once you've written everything out that you did it? Would this help? Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That's a deal.
That's a deal. Great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else?
No.
You want to know?
Thank you for doing this, Matthias.
Yeah. Thank you for playing out, and it's exciting to see, like, there is this question mark, but there is a new beginning, and there is this alter ego, Sultana, who really can step into it. And so I'm pretty excited about what the future will bring, and you are already Sultana. Saadi.
That I need to remember.
Yeah. You are this creative person that you need to be.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthias.
Thank you. Hear from you tomorrow.
Yes,
awesome.
You will. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Thank you for listening to Beyond One Lens today. We would love to hear back from you. Give us feedback and even let us know if you'd like to be a coachee. Follow or contact us on Instagram at Beyond One Lens Podcast. Beyond One Lens is hosted and co-produced by Zarrina Alieva and Jackie Parthouse. Till the next time.